Here's the president. Let's take a listen to what he has to say again on the tarmac in Morristown.
This is to the people of El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. They're incredible people, and they've been through a lot. I just want to also thank the law enforcement in both places. The job they've done is incredible. I also want to congratulate them. I mean, nobody could have done what they've done. This could have been as bad as it was. It could have been so much worse. I just have to thank them. The job they've done is incredible. They were right on the ball in El Paso. They were there so quickly, and in Dayton in less than a minute. Think of the damage he did in such a short period of time. In less than a minute, the law enforcement acted and killed him. And it would have been unbelievable. It was horrible, but it would have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. I just want to say that these are two incredible places. We love the people. Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it. I spoke with Attorney General Bill Barr at length. I spoke to Christopher Wray, Director of the FBI. Spoke to the governors, both governors, and we're doing a lot of work. A lot of people are working right now, a lot of law enforcement people and others. Spoke to members of Congress about whatever we can do, and a lot of things are being done right now as we speak. I'll be making a statement tomorrow sometime, but just on behalf of our First Lady and myself, condolences to all. We have to get it stopped. This has been going on for years and years in our country. We have to get it stopped. So thank you very much, and I will be making a statement tomorrow at about 10 o'clock, and I'll see you there. Thank you all very much. You have to talk up. We're talking to a lot of people, and a lot of things are in the works, and a lot of good things. And we have done much more than most administrations, and it's not really not talked about very much, but we've done actually a lot. But perhaps more has to be done. But this is also a mental illness problem. If you look at both of these cases, this is mental illness. These are really people that are very, very seriously mentally ill. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening right now. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you.